Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Sox. Ethan and Brandon here to continue discussing what's going on with the Red Sox this season as we get deeper into May. It's been an up and down start to the season. We've had some really strong performances, guys like Garrett Crochet and Alex Bregman. There's obviously been some not so great performances, some injuries, just up and down play really. But one guy that you and I have been talking a lot about for the last couple of years, and especially since he underwent shoulder surgery this offseason, is Masataka Yoshida. And obviously, right now, from the sounds of it, he's getting closer to returning. He's beginning a throwing program for that injured shoulder. It's sort of an open air question of when is he going to return. But I just want to get your thoughts, Ethan. Obviously, the Red Sox have a pretty full lineup at this point. Where does he fit? Does he fit on this iteration of the Red Sox?
It's a great question because first of all, you kind of have to ask yourself now that Jaron Duran is a left fielder, right? And he's doing a great job. Let's not forget that Jaron Duran is doing a great job right now. Does again, you kind of phrase that right, but does Masataka Yoshida fit still in the outfield? The other thing I want to put on top of this is again, he's already gone for this surgery and he's still kind of going for rehab. So do you even want to put him in the outfield and possibly restrain that injury eventually? My answer is absolutely not. So the only place that I can see him in this entire lineup is the DH spot. And again, now that it also kind of contradicts, well, are we going to put Rafael Devers still at the DH spot? Blah, blah, blah. There's this, it's all a domino effect. So my answer to this question is I think he belongs at the DH spot at this point. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, the most seamless fit at this point is that Rafael Devers moves to first base, as you said, Masataka Yoshida DHs, and that's what happens. And hopefully the lineup just sort of functions as normal. The issue with that idea is that I personally would hate to move Devers off of DH right now. One, because he's playing really well and you don't want to interrupt his rhythm. But two, because I mean, everyone remembers the stink that was made when he was moved from third base to DH. I think he'd probably be more receptive to playing first base because he'd go back to the field, and that was, something he said he wanted to continue doing. But again, it's tough to learn a new position in the middle of the season, especially when your primary job is to, be the offense's main threat or one of the main threats next to Alex Bregman and Christian Campbell. So it's definitely an interesting situation. I think the Red Sox front office wants to trade Yoshida. I think their ideal outcome, obviously, he's got a $18 million salary for the next few years. I think they'd be thrilled to be able to get his money off the books and then open up, that spot on the roster for a prospect like Roman Anthony or Marcelo Mayer, or bring in another guy via trade. But assuming that's not on the table right now, just because of the injury, I think that the most seamless fit is putting him at DH because he's just not a great outfielder. Duran's hasn't been the best in the outfield this season defensively, but he's obviously a good defensive outfielder. And so it is a difficult question that the Red Sox are facing because at some point Yoshida is going to return. And the question is, does he even fit on this roster anymore?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because again, we'll talk about another player in a second who probably won't face the same problem that Yoshida's going to face. But again, I don't. There's this whole back and forth of the staff has to make this decision. Again, DH is again. I'm kind of rambling here, but yeah, Devers made this whole stink about I don't want to go to DH, and now he's finally found his groove. And the other thing that we talked about when Devers was, making the move to DH is that when you're not going back out into the field, you only have so much adrenaline going up to the base, and that's it. Now to say, okay, we're going to put you to first base again in the middle of the season, I think it's going to throw out, like you said, I think it's going to throw out the entire rhythm of not only Devers, but the entire team, right? Any baseball team is a well-oiled machine, and to throw one thing off its rhythm is to throw the entire team off its rhythm. I think that Yoshida either needs to, I don't want to say get more rest in rehab and then kind of rethink what he needs to do, but I think it's a little selfish to say, well, put him back out in the outfield because I think Jaron Duran is just doing so well out there. Again, like you said, he's not like an all-star type player when it comes to defense, but I think he trumps Yoshida by a country mile.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll leave it off at this is, it's possible maybe another injury happens or, someone else just starts to really struggle and that opens a spot. But it's not like Yoshida's the next outfielder up. Roman Anthony is the next outfielder up for the Red Sox. If someone gets hurt in the outfield or, if there's underperformance and the Red Sox need an offensive boost, the next guy up is Roman Anthony. I mean, he's just the best player the Red Sox have in the pipeline right now. Even if Yoshida was close to being, to his return, which he's not, he's still definitely got quite a bit of time before he's back. But it's just a situation where it's not just a logjam of starters, it's a logjam of people, going down the system, Yoshida would certainly be a really good fourth outfielder on the bench, but can you pay a fourth outfielder $18 million? It just all these questions sort
There's
of start.
only so much. There's only so much room.
Exactly. And so it's an open question. I do think Alex Cora will find a place to play him, if only to try to audition him for other teams, for next offseason to try to trade him. But overall, it's going to be a very tough logjam. It's a good problem to have, but it's tough for Masataka Yoshida. But as always, we want to hear your thoughts. Is there a place on the diamond for Yoshida when he returns? Are you not even thinking about him because you're just waiting for Roman Anthony to come up? Let us know. As always, we'll respond and look at all your comments.